It's almost Christmas, and we're back.
It's about time.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another jam-packed edition of David Lee Madison's The End of the Night. I, of course, am David Lee Madison, your host, and this gentleman right here is my co-host, producer, my dear friend, Mr. Joe Ridgely. Joe, how are you, my friend?
I am spectacular. Glad to be back. Man, we've been gone for a few weeks.
Yes, we've been gone for a few weeks, and I'll touch on that in a moment. Sadly, something tragic happened in my life. And I want to start this show because it is, of course, the festive holiday season, and I want to start off on a happy note. So, Joe, why don't you tell everybody who are looking for a wonderful Christmas gift where they can pick up those wonderful scents and melts that your beautiful wife and daughter have available?
Would love to, thank you. That would be Hearts of the Mystic Folk. Check out their line of awesome all-natural scented wax melts, wickless candles, and room sprays available in a variety of fun and seasonal scents. You can find Hearts of the Mystic Folk on Facebook and Instagram.
Sweet. Well, I don't wish to bring everybody down, but I want to dedicate this show to my dearest friend, Mr. Tom Morales. Tom and I grew up in Middle Village, Queens. We were friends from age 4. He's 1 year younger than I am, so he's 4, and I was 5 when we met. And there wasn't a month that has gone by since 1974 that we haven't convened our friendship. And sadly, the day after Thanksgiving, Tom was working out in a gym. He lived in a complex, and the complex had its own gym. And he was working out. He was on a treadmill, and on the Friday after Thanksgiving, Tom was working on a treadmill and had a massive heart attack and passed away. So I'm dedicating this show to my dearest friend, Mr. Tom Morales. If my eyes well up, I apologize to everybody. You learn lessons in life, Joe, and we don't. It's these type of situations that teach us the most valuable lessons, and they're the hardest lessons to learn. So I'm going to stress this to everybody watching tonight. This holiday season and every day of your life, make sure that the people you care about know that you care about them, and that you love them, because it's very, very important that the people know that, because you never know what's going to bring. Thank you, CJ. You're a great guy, and I love you, CJ. Thank you. And thank you, Ken. And yeah, he had a massive heart attack. His son, Mikey, is just a kid, and I'm his godfather. So I'm going to do my best to do my godfatherly duties. And I love you, Mikey, if you're watching tonight. Your dad was a great, great guy, and everything will be fine. We will find our way through this.
I'm going to give you a second, and I'm going to go through some of these comments real fast, if that's okay
Sure.
with you.
Absolutely.
All right, we got Scott Travis. Am I in the right place? You are definitely in the right place if you are here to be entertained and have fun. So, yeah, CJ there. Back. What's up, dudes? I miss you. Well, thank you very much. We missed being here. We have Daniela Shepard, who has a show on the network as well. Greetings.
Hi, Danielle.
What does that say? You guys
Be hosting? No, we're not going to be hosting any horror events at the Milford Theater, but thank you for asking.
All right.
He's a local to my neighborhood guy.
Gotcha. I think we're kind of caught up. All right.
Absolutely. You know, Joe, I was out shopping. My daughter took me to a craft. She wanted to go to a craft fair yesterday, and I went to an antique store next to where they were holding the craft fair while she was in the craft fair with her friend who had a table. And I want to show, everybody who watches the show knows that I love antique toys and trading cards and baseball cards and all this kind of stuff. And I came across this. This is pretty freaking epic. This is a 1964 Topps. I didn't even know these existed, but apparently Topps made Beatles-like baseball cards. And this is a Beatles baseball card from 1964 of John Lennon. And it's been graded. And if you see right here, it was actually signed by John Lennon. So I got that yesterday at a antique store. Isn't that pretty epic?
That is. Hey, what was it? Just the anniversary of his death?
What, this card?
No.
Oh.
I'm trying to remember. Didn't he?
Oh, something recently? Oh, yeah. I think he was shot.
December.
Yeah, no, I think it was a pretty recent happening. So that was a pretty cool collection. I now have John Lennon sitting next to Bing Crosby's autograph. I mean, how strange is that? That's a weird combination.
You got JW saying, hey.
Hey, JW, I hope you're well. Happy holidays. Your shows have been great. I've been watching them. I just haven't been shedding.
Exciting. They're doing something with James Bond. So go to the Indie Escape Network. Go vote for what Bond thing they should be doing. It's kind of cool.
Sweet. I am getting wood from your voice, Joe. There's something totally different about it. You sound so much more manly. And you're like, go to that channel and listen to his James Bond show.
I did a lot of screaming yesterday. My throat is kind of roached right now.
Well, everybody, stay tuned tonight. We have a super talented and lovely guy, author. Tom Duffy will be coming on. He's really just a smart guy. He's funny. His books are fantastic, and I'm a huge fan. He'll be on in just a bit. We're going to have a top 10 list in just a few moments. Another big piece of news for tonight's show is that Grunkle Scott is returning after a lengthy... I mean, when we see Grunkle Scott last, maybe back in October when we had Tom Holland on?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's been a while. So we're super excited that Grunkle Scott is on. But first, we have somebody stopping in to discuss his enormous film, and what I honestly consider by far the best film of 2022 was just dropped on DVD and Blu-ray and physical media, and I'm super excited that he's popping on to discuss the release and just to say hello. A dear friend of mine, pop culture icon, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brian O'Halloran. Hello, Mr. O'Halloran.
What's up? What's going on?
How are you? Thank you so much for joining us. I know that you literally have a busier schedule than the Pope lately. It's like you are all over the place. You have cons all over the place. You have signings. I know you were working on another film. But thank you so much for joining us tonight, Brian. How are you?
If there was something of the Pope that I wish I could have, it would not be his travel schedule. It would be probably the gazillions of dollars in stolen artwork that is sitting in the Vatican that I could wander and go, we stole this from Africa. We stole this from the Germans. We stole this from the fine art collectors of the Middle East. That's what I wish I had. Anyway.
I thought you were going to say the Pope Mobile. Who doesn't want the Pope Mobile?
No, because that means you need someone to drive it. And
yes.
That means I have to put up with someone driving me. That ain't happening.
The sad part would probably be me.
You could go next door and see Dave's collection of art and cards.
See, that's true. But first of all, I'm so sorry for your loss of your dear friend Tom. Mm-hmm. I'm sure the memories will live on with you and his family and the people who love them the most. That's how we keep people in our lives, is by talking about them when they've transitioned. So it's something that we will all go through, and our friends will go through, and our families will go through, and I hope all the best for his kids and his family and his friends. So first off, you're welcome. Secondly, thank you for the kind words that you said about this film, about what you thought about it. It has touched a lot of people in this way, and I've had people reach out to me through my social network, tons, just saying, there's another one probably, saying, how much this meant to them, and there are the people who are like, I wanted to laugh and you made me cry. Fuckos, what's up with this? For those who haven't figured it out, I'm Brian O'Halloran, and I'm from this film that just came out, Clerks 3, out on Blu-ray, DVD on demand now. You go to bestbuy.com. They have the Steelbook version if you're one of those type of collectors. Walmart has one where you get the DVD, Blu-ray, and a limited T-shirt. And I think Kevin Smith is taking pre-orders for a signed copy of the Blu-ray plus an enamel pin that says Clerks 3. That's where you get it from the Jay and Silent Bob Secret Stash website. But it's good to be back with you guys. Glad to see you guys up and running again. And I've been on the road so much, like you had mentioned. Just got back from Knoxville, Tennessee. Thank you for the fine folks at Tall Man Toys and Comics for hosting me there. And we have one more show actually together.
Yes.
Next Saturday ourselves.
Next Saturday, we'll be at Big Apple Comic-Con in New York City, right across the street from Madison Square Garden. And why don't we bring Grunkle Scott on? I mean, he's a icon of the Clerks franchise, too. He was fantastic in Clerks 3. You guys work... the scene was hysterical. You guys, I mean, unbelievable. Grunkle Scott, where are you, my friend?
Hey! What's going on, everybody?
Grunkle Scott, you have any thoughts on the physical release of Clerks 3?
Other than I'm super excited myself to check it out, and I know there's a lot of fun extras and whatnot and Easter eggs, right? Is the Lionsgate documentary on there, Brian?
I believe so. Yes, I believe so.
I asked somebody.
I think there's two of them.
Really? Wow. Somebody reached out to me, and we were talking about the disc, and I asked about the Logic video, and they said it's on there. Are they wrong?
Oh, I don't think it is on there. I mean, hang on a second. I just so happen to have a couple of copies. Is there a Logic music video on there? I don't know. We shot, for those who don't know, we shot a music video for the artist, the rapper Logic. And it was a lot of fun. We had a whole bunch of cameos in that, more so than even the movie. It doesn't say that it is on here on the Blu-ray, so I think that's wrong because I believe Logic himself told me that it's not coming out until February.
That's not logical at all. No. Not to have it out.
Well, to not have it on the actual movie Blu-ray DVD.
It's funny, Brian. I'm not going to give away, because I'm sure there's some of our audience who have yet to see Clerks 3. And please, don't run to get a copy and see Clerks 3. Because
can we bury that? Can we bury that phrase? Don't walk, run. That's just
okay.
That's so 1942.
But as everybody who watches,
people don't even go to theaters anymore. So it's more like, don't watch something on streaming, but actually buy physical media.
Yes, go out. It's so much cooler to actually have physical media in your hand and look at the art and read the liner notes and look at the stuff that's in the book, all the cool stuff. And if you buy it at Walmart, like I did, you get a free Clerks T-shirt, which I thought was pretty cool. Clerks 3 T-shirt.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it was a pretty epic. It was T-shirt alone's worth the $15 the movie cost, but it was fantastic. It was just a great movie. And you know what's funny, Brian? And I'm not going to give any of what the movie's about away. But I seen the movie with you. I was blessed to see the movie with you a couple days before Thanksgiving. And the reality of like losing my best friend to a heart attack 5 days later, it was just so unbelievably surreal how films can take on a deeper meaning and become so much bigger and so much more important in one's life when you realize that these things actually happen. So I'm actually going to thank you for not only being one of my closest and dearest friends, but for making a film that was so profoundly touched so many people. And it may actually save people's lives because there's a message there to make sure you check yourself and make sure that you tell the people you love to check themselves for heart disease. But that could transcend to so many things: heart disease, cancer, anything that people need to have checked out. It was just a very, very poignant moment. And it was so surreal that literally Clerks 3 happened to me like a couple days after I saw Clerks 3. So, with that being said, it's a great, 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 great movie. You are, as you know, everybody who knows the two of us, if I thought it was bad, I wouldn't say anything. But it's a fantastic movie, and your performance, if they don't even suggest you for an award, it's a travesty, Brian. No, you're too humble, Brian. You really, really did an amazing, amazing job. I didn't get to ever tell you, I haven't had you on the show since the movie came out. But Diana, your beautiful woman, was on the show, and I told her, and I'm going to tell you right directly to your face, I'm humbled and honored to know you, not just because you're a great guy, but because that performance is the stuff of legend. So congratulations. It was really, really fantastic.
Thank you. I really appreciate the kind words with the performance and the movie. The downside of doing such a good job in this movie is I will never be able to be afforded to go into one of your movies. You'll never be able to afford me.
Oh, no.
Zing!
So
thank you. I appreciate that. And I appreciate the fact that people have reached out and said these kind of things. And I think, listen, if there was anyone else besides in the title for director and writer, Kevin Smith, probably I would have been nominated. But because this industry is so anti-Smith sometimes, and the industry is also anti-comedy, they're not a big awards-giving community when it comes to comedies. I still think that it should be a separate category at altogether rather in the Oscars. The Golden Globes try to slip it in there as its own category. They do comedy/musical.
Independent Spirit Awards. They've been kind to him. You should definitely get it.
I remember when I was watching those. No one watches the Independent Spirit Awards. Come on.
Yeah, but I
would love one.
I think it's a nice accolade. You should definitely be nominated at the Independent Spirit Awards.
Listen, I'm not in that circle. I'm not in that realm of how that works. I don't live in LA. I don't circle around the people in parties where those kind of decisions are made and where certain money is paid, kind of thing. Just saying. So thank you. Look, back to the fans have reached out and say that in conversation and even mention it as an honor alone to be a part of this. First of all, to have been a part of the very first one and to have that live on. Here we are 29, 30 years later, still talking about it. And people love that movie. They love how it went. The second one, they love how the zany antics that happened, 12 years later after the first one. And here we are again, hypnotizing you yet again into giving us more money to see a couple of old guys that you probably didn't even know who they were back then. To get more money out of you for a third installment is pretty much a magic trick. It's not hypnosis. So I had to do something for the extra cash, and that was put a little effort into the acting this time.
Oh, well, I would say it was a little bit more than a little. Congratulations. Brian, can you stay on or do you need to run?
I know you have another guest on. I don't want to cut into another gentleman's work. But if you want me to stay on, I can stay on. But if you're going to bring on any other guest, please let that guest.
I would love to have you. It's kind of like a family affair tonight. If you're able to stay on, please do. But first, let's introduce our lovely top 10 aficionado, a dear friend of the show, a wonderful and super talented voice actress in and of herself. Miss Wendy Zaire is here to do our top 10 list tonight.
Thank y'all. I want to thank everybody. My favorite colors are red, white, and blue. Thank you, Bob. Guys, first of all, Brian and Scott, I probably, you guys are icons. Enjoy. I can't wait to see 3. But I was laughing when you said you didn't like the phrase "run, don't walk" because as a voiceover years ago, and for like local stuff, people would say, "For the best kept secret." Like that was, we're like, oh my God, get rid of that. So I hate those catchphrases that are like real bad. So
yeah,
a top 10 list of bad catchphrases. How's that?
Well, thank you for dogpiling. That's very kind of you, Wendy. So Wendy,
yeah,
I'm going to tell everybody before you read this list that I'm the sap who wrote it. It's from the home office here in Lords Valley, Pennsylvania. So if it's horrible, don't hold poor Wendy accountable. She's just a messenger.
No pressure.
Wendy, what's our top 10 list tonight?
All right, guys, here we go. And remember, we have to have those sound effects because.
But you gotta say, what is the top 10 list?
All right, the top 10 list. The top 10 reasons why Marvel movies suck.
Yes.
All right, number 10. Spider-Man stooped Iron Man while Hank Pym watched. Oh, sorry, that was the Wonder Boys. Good job. All right, number 9. Ready? Fat Thor.
Fat Thor, yes.
Fat Thor. Lots of carbs. All right, number 8. Number 8, because Martin Scorsese says so.
I agree.
Have you heard him say that? He did say that. All right, number 7 of the top 10 reasons why Marvel movies suck.
Okay.
Captain Marvel was over 2 hours long.
Yes, that was painful. That was very painful.
2 hours you cannot get back. Okay, here we go. 6. They pillaged Raimi's Spider-Man, then they pillaged Raimi. All right.
We're not playing big in the Clerks universe, Wendy.
Oh yeah.
Apparently,
well,
no.
So okay, here, number 5. Top 10 reasons why Marvel movies suck. 5. Superman never shows up.
I'm with you.
Yeah, he was the best. All right, number 4. Screaming goats. I think we need visuals for these. I'm feeling like next time we have to have some visuals. All right, number 3, top 10 reasons. All right, you're doing like this. How was Howard the Duck not an Avenger? They put him in everything else, right? I mean,
I would have had Howard the Duck in Avenger.
He's adorable, and he got a lot of stooping, I think, if I remember right. Okay, number 2. Okay, let's be honest. Ringo Starr was great in that Iron Man flick.
He was. It was my favorite part, actually. He was.
Yeah? Well, he's my 3rd favorite Beatle, so that's fair. All right, let's do the drum roll. Ready? Number 1 reason why Marvel movies suck. Brie Larson.
Oh.
Wah, wah.
Yay!
That was fun. I laughed. I cried. Better than cats.
Wendy, fire your writer.
Oh, well, he's union. I don't know what I can do. His people will get on me. I gotta be careful. But yeah.
Well, thank you. I thought that was hysterical, but then again, I'm a schmuck, so don't listen to me.
I find you funny. I do. I find you funny. It's not because I'm medicated, but when I am medicated, you're a little bit funnier. I have to be honest.
Well, thank you.
Oh, no,
when I'm medicated, I'm actually a little funnier myself.
When I'm medicated, I'm hilarious. I don't think other people think I am, but I am to me. So, but yeah, thank you, everybody.
That's going to rock the internet when we take that out and put that in specifically, because there are so many like MCU bootlickers, and they're going to not laugh. But I thought it was very funny.
I'm not a bootlicker, but I know you've been so anti Marvel movies, so I know that this is coming. Your personal opinion on this one, so the whole thing that you're anti Marvel movies, and I'm sure you're having coffee with Scorsese and Quentin Tarantino over at the fucking Fires Club or whatever you go.
Yeah, well, I'm a bootlicker, but it's a kink. It's not for anything else. So.
There you go.
Hey, but wait a minute.
I knew I liked you for a reason.
No, Fat Thor gave Fat Joe hope. So don't pick on Fat Thor.
He's a good guy. I like Fat Thor. I found him sexy, but I'm just saying.
It's a dad bod, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dad bods are good, right? When we're, our age, women of our age, dad bods are very sexy, so don't put it down. I don't
know if I should be concerned that she put me in the same category as her age or not.
Well, you're way younger than me, so you have a dad bod. You're so cute.
Oh, well, thank you.
But I'm a cougar, so it's okay.
Hey.
Wendy.
My boyfriend is 50. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much for being on tonight. I'm sorry for giving you such a shitty list to read, but I did my best.
I love it. I think it was wonderful. We'll even make it better next time. But thank you guys. Thank you, Scott, Joe, Brian, and of course, David. You're a mensch. All mensch.
Wendy, if I don't see you, have a wonderful holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and keep yourself safe and happy, and we'll talk soon.
You too. Happy Chanukah, Merry Christmas, and whatever you celebrate. Bye, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen,
night.
Wendy Zalia, thank you for being on, sweetheart. Bye.
y'all.
Oh, she's so adorable. What the hell is she doing on this mess train wreck? of a show?
Right?
Yeah.
Oh shit! So I just got a text from Martin. Martin's like, "Hey, can you send me Dave's number? I got shit I want to talk to him about." Look at that. Martin's,
Well, no,
Marty,
Dave refers to him as Marty. So
Marty's like, does Dave have that $20 he owes me? With that being said, our guest tonight is an outstanding author and just a really cool cat. And I got to do a show with him recently, and we hit it off. And he's just a funny, outstanding young man and a great writer. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tom Duffy. Hey, Tom, how the hell are you?
Hello, thank you for having me on.
It's absolutely our pleasure.
Although I know following Brian, it's kind of like having Led Zeppelin open up for you. And then it's, after that,
the head is going to go
here's
like
Tom
this.
with his ukulele to do personalized songs of Tiny Tim.
Nice.
Okay, well, I kind of like Tiny Tim better than Led Zeppelin, so you're in for a treat. I'm not a big Led Zeppelin guy. So, Tom, tell us a little bit about yourself, and tell us. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Oh, was that me back? I'm sorry, Tom. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and tell us a little bit about your passion for writing. Did he freeze?
I
I think
we
he's
did.
freezing up.
He
Let me
froze
see
up.
If I can bounce him.
That's what
and-
happened.
Freezing, or is it you freezing?
Please.
I think you froze. Are you?
froze.
Can you hear us now? Hello, Tom. Can you hear me?
Anybody out there?
I think
He's-
somebody else is
I can hear you.
medicated.
He's starting to move around like Sledgehammer. I wanna be. There you go. Tom, tell us a little bit about your passion for writing and about your.
Yeah, it's still, everything's still freezing up.
Do me a favor, back out all the way, and then click that link again, and I'll bring you back up. And I think we might. Oh yeah, I'm definitely hearing myself through
Right.
somebody else's speakers now.
Well, it's his.
Okay, I kind of
He's
figured as
doing it
much.
through his laptop, and it's feeding right back into his microphone.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope we could hook it up. He's such a sweet dude.
All right. So, questions.
He's
Comment.
a horror writer, David.
Yes, he has 2 books out. One called Zodiac, and I want him to talk about his other book because I have trouble. Actually, it's like Panicus, Satanicus is his other book. It's kind of a cool title, but I don't know if I'm saying it correctly.
He's trying to come back in. Oh, let's see.
Hey, Tom, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Sweet. So tell us a little bit about your passion for writing and your current book.
All right. Well, my passion for writing. The first thing I ever wrote, as far as I'm aware, was about a wolf and a chicken. It was a page and a half long, on one of those old, way back in like preschool, they gave you those yellow triple lined papers. So it basically meant it was like a 75-word story. But I've been writing ever since. It's a hard question when you talk about like where does the passion come from. It's always been there.
Mhm.
It's just something I've needed to do. Whether or not I would be doing anyway. The new book is interesting because there's a couple reasons. I actually dedicated it to an author called Jay Wilburn, who at the time was alive and passed away in October before he got a chance to read it. but I did send him the dedication, so I know that he saw that. But I took. You're hearing a lot in the news about the satanic panic coming back and all of that, and I just kind of took that idea and said, all right, let's get a heavy metal group out in the middle of nowhere and have them basically taken hostage by crazy cult people and see what happens from there. And I had no idea about any of the characters, no idea where it was going, and wrote it in like breakneck. I think I did in 26 days, somewhere around there. And it's
a fabulous read. Yeah, it's a fabulous read, and it's a very smart book. It's very you have an incredible sense of humor. It's very wry and it's very, very well written. It's a great read. What advice would you give to a writer working on their first book? Could you hear me, Tom?
Is that?
I said, what advice would you give to a writer who was working on their first book?
Yeah, it's still freezing.
I said, what advice would you give to a writer working on their first book?
Tom, can you hear me better
Everyone's
than you
frozen
can hear
here.
Dave? That's the connection on his side.
I can hear you a little bit going in
You
and
can hear
out.
me a little bit?
I was asking you, what advice would you give to a writer who was working on their first book? Can you hear me, Tom?
What advice would I give someone?
Yeah, what advice
what
would
you
you
said?
give to a writer who was writing their first book?
Yeah. What advice? Well, I do what's called pantsing, so I don't outline anything. I just have a what if concept, and I take it from there, and I fix it in the rewrite, basically, which I'm doing now with this one that's coming out in January. My advice for a new writer would be, don't think about what you're writing as being good or bad. That's going to be you, because there is no such thing as a good first draft. And, he started thinking about his first drafts as the sand that he would shovel into the sandbox, which he would then later make castles out of. And I think that's a great analogy. Yeah, if you're writing your first book, just don't listen to me. Don't listen to anybody. Just get it down on paper, fix it later, and that's kind of how I go about it in general.
So how many books have you written, and which one is your favorite?
How many books have I written?
Not published, but written.
9. I have 9 at this point. It's this the new one. I really did like the last book that came out, but this new one that's coming out in January is I wrote it kind of as a throwaway, just as like I'm just going to write something ridiculous, but then the characters really latched onto me, and it's actually going to turn into a trilogy. But my favorite is something that I've been debating on publishing for a while because it's extremely personal. And there's still a few people around who will know exactly where the story came from. And I don't necessarily want to get anyone upset about it. So I may hold off on that, but I also may publish it maybe mid next year, depending on the reactions from the people who were involved in this story. That's probably my favorite because it has most connection to me.
Mm-hmm. It was, I think, Tom Holland who once told me via email, because we were discussing great, directing and writing. And he said, write from what you know, which is, everybody says that. And it's all right to go trolling sometimes. And when he says trolling is kind of like taking things, throwing them up against the wall and seeing what sticks. And that's
right.
It's a difficult way to put things together. But is it something, do you do that? Or do you go into a book knowing exactly what direction the whole thing's going to go in?
No, I know nothing. I don't even know the characters. That's exactly what I do. And what's fun about it is you're discovering, you're your first reader. So you're discovering that as you're writing, and you're reading the story as you're writing. What's scary about it, and which has happened a lot to me, is you can write yourself into a corner, and now you have 20,000 words of garbage that you can do nothing with but put aside, and maybe sometime in the future you can cannibalize from it into a different work. But yeah, I know absolutely nothing. I don't even know the names of the people until I write the names down on the paper. So yeah, I take the entire pot of spaghetti and chuck it against the wall, pretty much.
As a filmmaker and as somebody who writes his own films, I think one of the hardest things we have to learn is how to deal with negative reviews. How do you deal with negative reviews, if you have any?
The standard answer for most writers is don't read reviews. I read the reviews. I'll be honest. I just can't help myself. I don't try to take it personally. It's hard. I mean, anything that you create that comes out of you that's a part of your soul that you put out there, you can get some nasty people who write some things about it, and it's hard not to get upset about it, especially if you're in a certain state of mind frame. Sometimes I'll ask somebody, hey, can you check out the reviews for this and kind of filter out the bad ones, because I really don't want to read them. And other times I'll read them just because there could be good points. Also, you can learn from bad reviews, because you could legitimately have something out there where there's a massive plot hole that for some reason between the multiple revisions, the beta readers, the editor, it's been missed through all of that process. And now you have, since some of the stuff I'll put out myself, I can with those, I can take them and fix it and put it back out again, which I don't do, because I think once it's out there, it's not mine anymore. But yeah, it's like anything else. You post something on Facebook and you're going to have trolls there. And you're also going to have people who are calling you out on something you say, and it's true. So bad reviews could be a trolling situation, or it could be a legitimate, hey, where did Steve go halfway through the book? He was the main character, and now there's no Steve.
No,
which is an extreme example, but
it's kind of sucks,
I mean,
because
how do you?
I was going to say it kind of sucks because sadly it's more trolling than it is anybody trying to give you constructive criticism or being kind. We live in a world where our independent stuff is compared to huge studio stuff, and where independent books are compared to things, that have the backing of major publishing companies. People don't see where there's a distinct difference between the two, and that's what makes it difficult, I think, for like independent artists. I was going to ask you, how do you use social media as an author?
I that's my downfall. I'm not very good at doing that, at marketing myself. I'm uncomfortable with it. I'll throw it out there. Hey, a month from now, this book is coming out. I will use social media to connect with reviewers to give them advance copies. That's what that's good for. I really should be more on top of it. I don't do any type of ads because I found that the return on investment just isn't worth it. I'd really like to be. There's a horror author called Bentley Little, who basically has no social media presence, has no email, no way to contact, nothing at all, has nothing to do with anything, but he writes a book or two a year, and he's been doing it since the 80s. And he's an enigma because he doesn't do signings, he doesn't do interviews. That's what I would really like to do, honestly. I would like to spend my time writing and not having to deal with that. And unfortunately, you do. I mean, even if you're going through one of the big 5 publishers, none of them are doing anywhere near the type of marketing they used to do for authors. So you still have to get out there and market yourself. What I find the best thing is to not push the books itself, but to push me as a person and just to engage people. And I find that if you engage people and people like you, they'll tend to pick up your stuff and give it a chance.
Sweet. Joe, you have the cover of Tom's new book, Panicus. Can you say it for me? Because it's like a tongue twister for me, Tom.
Panicus Satanicus, which means absolutely nothing in Latin.
Tell us a little bit about this book and where people can find it, because this just came out October 1st, and it was the book yes. I picked up at the show, and it's just fantastic.
Yeah, it's basically about a heavy metal group who goes touring around the country. They're not big; they're very they live out of their van, and they just go to different bars, and they happen to run into the wrong people who essentially think that all music is from the devil. And the cult leader is is he supernatural? Is he not supernatural? Does he actually talk to a god or something? And they take them hostage, all but one, and essentially try to convert them to the weird cult religion. And I use the one character who got away, who now has to infiltrate this little town and try to get his friends back. And there's a lot of references. There's a character in there called Charlie, who's a part of the cult, but yet is not a part of the cult because he doesn't really care. He just gets really drunk. And his favorite groups are Guar and Beyonce, and that's all he talks to throughout the entire book. And there's a whole scene towards the end, which I ruined, but which I thought was pretty hilarious with him.
No, I mean, the book was fantastic. Tom, where can people find your work, and where can they find you on social media?
You can find I'm on Amazon. You can look me up on Amazon for any of the books. I'm on Facebook. I'm usually receptive. You send me a friend request, I'll accept it. Twitter, I'm at Tom Duffy author, because I basically have no imagination to come up with a better handle. I believe I'm on Instagram under the same one, but I don't use Instagram at all. I did start a TikTok, and I just post stupid videos on there, most of which have nothing to do with writing, but you can follow me there as well. Everything I write is on Amazon. You can get it Kindle Unlimited, paperback.
Sweet. Hey, Joe, can we get some of these comments on before we let Tom go? I was going to keep Tom on a little bit longer, but we're having some issues with his connection tonight. some people. CJ says thanks for the advice, Tom. Gabe says I bet your book will become a cult classic. And just a lot of love out there. The legendary Jim Crud was on here. I said, well said, Tom and Dave. But I don't know what the hell we were speaking about when he said that. But thank you, Mr. Crud. Thank you for. Oh yeah, Jim was with us that day. Tom, remember Jim?
Yeah.
Tom, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. I think you're a great guy. I want to have meet you in Milford and have break some bread and have dinner. Again, thank you for joining us, everybody. If you want if you have a book lover in your family, especially really kind of cool, quirky horror kind of I don't know, pulp fiction-y kind of books, check out Tom Duffy on Amazon. His books are fantastic. They make great Christmas gifts, and he's a very, very talented writer and talented author. And you will say that I see them first on the end of the night. Tom, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much as well.
Good night, Tom.
Take care.
Oh, I wish I had a better connection. He's such a nice guy, and he was having trouble hearing us, and there was a lot of
ton of questions and comments. Yeah, it is unfortunate though.
Yeah, because we don't really have authors on too many times, and a lot of people were interested in what Tom was talking about, but sadly, it was just wasn't working. Sadly. What do you think, Grunkle Scott? You look, I don't know, tired.
It's interesting. And that one comment, I've been saying that forever. Writing is rewriting. You got to get it out. You just got to get it all out.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to rework it, do it again. And writing is rewriting.
You look like the helmsman on the Starship Enterprise tonight for some reason. I don't know why. You have the cool
I
chair.
think he looks good.
No, it's a compliment.
Yeah.
He's a compliment.
Compared to the dungeon at the other house, you're much brighter right now.
Yeah, there's not a lot of lighting down in here that's flattering, so I just killed all the lights, brought my favorite guitar down, and I figured I'm good to go.
So, it is now 14 days before Christmas. And I wanted to ask you three guys, what is your big Christmas wish for this year? I'm going to go with you first, Joe.
Me? Damn. Nothing like putting me on the spot. Biggest thing is for everybody affiliated with the Indie Escape Network to succeed.
I like that. Mr. O'Halloran, if you had a Christmas wish this year, what would it be that could come true?
God, I got to get through my birthday first. So, my birthday's on the 20th. So, I don't that whole big J guy that everybody makes hoopla about. He has his time. Big Christmas wish. You know what? I hope, to be honest with you, that the some sort of conclusion could happen to the war in Ukraine. I think it's about time that needs to come to a conclusion. I think Putin needs a good kick in the, and the people of Ukraine and Eastern Europe in general don't need to have the terror that's going on. So that would be an awesome Christmas wish.
I agree. What about you, Mr. Schiaffo?
Well, I'm all about more love, less hate. And on a personal note, I really want to get my health has really been giving me a lot of trouble since the fall. Was super sick last month, getting sick again this week. I don't know, man. My immune system must be turning on me, but I never used to get sick. Now I'm getting a lot of ailments, so I don't want to be a bummer and bring everybody down, but I hope I'm better by the holidays. I hope I'm better by next weekend.
I suspect you will be fine, Mr. Schiaffo. And everybody, we have Brian Scott and I will be at Big Apple Comic-Con next Saturday, right across the street from Madison Square Garden in the city that never sleeps, the biggest city in the world. It's next Saturday, December 17th. And hopefully the three of us will be all together and come out and throw pieces of bologna at us and all that. Just if I could say what I would hope for is that it seems like as time goes by, people are becoming more divided, and people are becoming more angry with each other over things that we.
You're being more divided. You're being more angry.
No, you.
No, you.
No, you.
Says the man who's throwing so much shade at the Marvel universe. What's wrong with you, bro? What's
Yes,
wrong with you?
I'm sure Jon Favreau is losing a lot of sleep about what this schmuck is saying.
He's moved on to Star Wars now, so
Yeah.
he's done. He just collects the executive producer checks. He's not doing any creative stuff with the Marvel universe. Come on.
Well, you know what's funny? Did you guys, because of the Christmas? Oh, I was going to say, I think we should all come back together as a nation and as people and as human beings and treat each other with kindness and respect and open our eyes to the shitty things that both sides on the political spectrum are doing, and maybe we could meet in the middle and have harmony and peace and love and kindness with each other. Did any of you guys on the screen see the new A Christmas Story movie?
I did, but wait a minute. You mofos just made me sound real greedy when it came to the Christmas thing. So, thanks.
I'm sorry. That's what Joe's. That was you, Joe. Joe's like, I want a car to watch. No.
Damn it, Dave.
Listen. How about next week you do your top 10 list of wishes I wish I could have wished for? I think that's a much more positive list than the anti-Marvel hatred.
As long as Dave doesn't write it for me.
Oh, the Halloween list was pretty good. Actually, I think our next show is our big All-Star Christmas extravaganza. So
That's
that
next week.
That should be fun. So what'd you think of the new A Christmas Story Christmas, Joe?
For being that far from the original, the amount of time, I think they did a decent job. I mean, I didn't really know what to expect. And then when I saw Flick at the bar, I kind of wanted to throat punch him because, as you guys know, he stole my role in The Toy with Richard Pryor. So, anyway.
Flick, you rat bastard! Why did you steal poor? Well, Flick's been on the show a couple times, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been on the network a bunch of times.
Yeah. You haven't seen it yet, Bri?
No. I'm not a big fan of films that were way, way long ago, and then they decide to make a sequel like 30 or 40 years later. Not a big fan of that. Not a big fan.
Not a big going back to the well guy, eh?
I liked how the kids looked when they were young and there was still hope in their lives, and then you see them decades later, like, ooh, what happened to those guys? Oh my God! No, I have not seen it. I'm sure I'll find it at some point. I did see the Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell remake of A Christmas Carol. That was very good. I liked that a lot.
Oh, sweet. Is that a musical?
I would say a third of it is a musical. The rest of it is a regular comedy. But then every once in a while, they just bust out into cowbell in a song.
That's based on The Christmas Carol. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it's a very loosely based.
Kind of like Scrooge kind of loosely based on.
Right. But it was fun. I got to see it when I was out in Berkeley, California, at my friend's house, and it was cute. To be honest with you, it's ready to be on Broadway in like 2 years. Like,
oh, sweet.
Easily. As I watch it, I'm like, that's easy to do. That's easy to do. Well, this is totally going to be on Broadway in 2 years.
No, I mean, I saw actually A Christmas Carol musical on Broadway with Roddy McDowall back in the 80s. He played Ebenezer Scrooge. It was pretty epic. My thoughts on A Christmas Story is that it was actually brilliant, and it is brilliant for many, many reasons. It was brilliant in that it was a loving ode to Darren McGavin, who literally stole the first movie. I mean, 85% of what makes A Christmas Story, the first movie, a great film, was Darren McGavin's over-the-top performance as the old man. And Peter Billingsley, who made this film pretty much himself, as a loving ode to the first movie, understood all the points that made the very first A Christmas Story, such a great film. And the first film, which was narrated by Gene Shepard, who wrote the book that the film was based on. This film is, Gene Shepard has since passed away, and Peter Billingsley himself narrated the new film. And what's so amazing about it is that he made himself sound so ridiculously close to Shepard that it was just outstanding. And everything in this film, every frame of the new film, is just a wonderful tribute to the first movie. So if you get a chance to watch it, it's very, very, very well done. It's very heartwarming, and it's just a great flick. Probably the second best flick of 2022 to, of course, Brian's Clerks 3, Brian and Scott's Clerks 3, which I thought was unbelievable.
You're saying flick as a movie, not the character.
No. The flick as the flick.
Okay.
Flick was in this flick, but I would suggest that they took him out of the flick and put him in another flick, maybe a porno flick.
Wait, didn't he do that already?
Yes, Flick did a porno flick after he did mainstream flicks.
So I'm curious, because my wife and I were talking about it when we were watching the movie, and we didn't actually research it. The mother from the original, is she no longer with us?
No, she is. Okay. She Melinda Dillon, and she decided, I think about 15 years ago, to quit show business, and they offered her the role, but she stood by her guns and quit. So it's Julie Haggerty, the star of Airplane, who took over the role. And, she does a fine job. But I think she's Julie Haggerty in every movie. She has that really weird, quirky, kind of airheady personality, which I didn't really get from the mother, Melinda Dillon's character in the first one. So I thought it was an interesting choice, and she wasn't horrible by any stretch of the imagination. She didn't have a lot to do. But, the movie, seeing all the original kids and the great transformation, the scene with Scott Fargus is literally one of the finest redemption stories in a long time in film. And it teaches us a wonderful lesson about who the people we grew up with, how some of them mature and become adult and change their lives as time goes on. So it was just a wonderful, wonderful film. If anybody gets to see A Christmas Story too. With that being said, Mr. O'Halloran, Clerks 3 is available everywhere on DVD and Blu-ray, so everybody go out and make a wonderful Christmas gift. I'm humbled by how great that film turned out and how great you and Scott and everybody involved with that film. You did just such a tremendous job. You should be very, very proud.
I am very proud of it, and if people have gotten their DVDs and Blu-rays and they want to get them signed for the Christmas holiday, there you go. Boom, Big Apple Comic-Con. Next Saturday, me, Scott, Bai Ling, we got Serena Vincent's going to be there. We also have Clay McLeod Chapman and Carrie Means and tons and tons of people. It's going to be at the Wyndham New Yorker, the New Yorker Hotel, right catty corner to the greatest arena in all of sports, Madison Square Garden. Take the train, get to Penn Station, cross the street, see us at Big Apple Comic-Con, where you might be able to get a couple of signed 8x10s of this or have your own Blu-ray or DVD. Finally, the real Jersey trilogy will have been completed.
If you notice, this Rat Fink literally kept me out. He didn't say, and Dave. He said, me, Scott, and then mentioned like 12 other people. And it was like...
I thought I said you. I thought I said me, Dave.
No, you didn't. But thank you anyway. It's very kind of you.
Sorry. You can put that on your top 10 list of what I hate about Brian O'Halloran.
That list, that is a 5-episode long top 50 list.
You know what? We're just going to do an entire show on the Indie Escape Network called What I Hate About Brian. And that's all I'm going to do. Is going to have guests where they just come on and bitch to me. It's kind of like this show with Dave and another. And matter of fact, I noticed that Tiffany Shepis was supposed to be at Big Apple Comic-Con, but she canceled. I'm curious. Is it because you're also going to be at the show? Because when I saw them on the list, I was like, oh, Tiffany. And then I just looked at the list again and like, what? She canceled. Let me guess. She found out Dave was going.
You know, oddly enough, I spoke to Tiffany Shepis about this very morning. And sadly, her broomstick is in the shop. She won't be able to get to the airport. So, yes, Tiffany canceled.
I'm sure, the episode of We Hate Dave episode, as we all know, is the yearly Christmas episode. Next week, ladies and gentlemen, you'll hear some wonderful love and affection.
Well, as long as Tiffany comes with the big Dave head, then.
Yeah. To try to compete with the real big Dave head.
Dave!
Can you feel the love, Dave?
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Make sure when you're walking out in the streets of Hemlock Farms, you look both ways.
You know me, I don't walk. I have my chauffeur in my boatmobile take me around. Have you not been mentioned?
Brian, thank you so much. Everybody,
Guys,
pop culture icon, dear friend, Merry Christmas, Brian. I will see you before then, of course, but thank you again. Everybody rush out. I won't say that again. Everybody go out and buy a copy of Clerks 3, Blu-ray, DVD. It's always better to have the physical media. All kidding aside, it's a great film, one of the greatest films of the year. Brian did an amazing performance. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brian O'Hara. Thank you, Brian.
thank you for having
you,
us.
Brian.
Talk to you soon, pal. Wow, another jam-packed episode. I think this is episode 1,256,918 of The End of the Night in the books. Everybody, I want to apologize if I was a little off tonight. I'm dealing with some sad shit in my life, so I will apologize ahead of time for not being my regular, congenial self. I can apologize for Grunkle Scott because he's always this way. But with that being said, Grunkle Scott, you have anything else going on, my friend, that we would want folks to know?
Sean Baker Orchestra just came out. I'm losing my voice because I'm sick again. But I got a very nice opportunity to be a part of this record. Sean Baker is an amazing guitar player, and it's an instrumental guitar album. He did a track called Truly's Gum Guy Boogie, where I get to trade solos with Sean, and it's very cool, and I'm very happy to be a part of it. Sean Baker Orchestra, everybody. Thank you. Just wanted to give that a plug. Thank
Yay! You. Scott, tell us where people can find that.
I believe it is anywhere you get your music, but there's a place called shredguyrecords.com or, oh boy, I'm blowing it. I think it's shredguyrecords.com or shredguy.com. But if you were to Google Sean Baker, he's got plenty. He's got other records out. It wouldn't be hard to find. It's on my Facebook. I just posted on my Facebook. And I appreciate you letting me shout it out. He's a wonderful musician, and it was the first thing I got to do virtually to play. You know, it was a lot of fun.
Well, with that, Joe.
It 'tis the season for the Wandering Wannabes.
Oh, Wandering Wannabes.
Yes, if you can, go out and get a copy of the Wandering Wannabes Christmas EP. That it was, of course, all put together by the lovely Scott Schiaffo, with Brian O'Halloran on lead vocals, and Alan Jax Bowers, a drummer extraordinaire who played with Jimmy Buffett, is our percussion, and Sean Faust, and Grammy Award-winning bassist Joe Ferry plays on our single Jingle Bells. So if you get a chance, check us out on Facebook, The Wandering Wannabes, our Christmas album. We had a lot of fun. We all convened about 4 or 5 years ago at Alan's house on the hilltop here in Pennsylvania, a couple days before Thanksgiving, and we whipped out that little loving ode to Christmas music into the season. With that being said, I want to thank you guys, as always, for being my dear friends and for helping me this train wreck along. We've had so many wonderful guests this year. It's absolutely, when you look back at the list of people who joined us this year, I mean, everything from Tom Holland to the list is, it blows my mind to see the people who joined us this year. Our friends who come on all the time, like Brian and David Howard Thornton, and even Tiffany Shepis, who is, neither here nor there. I don't even know if she's been on this year. Has she been on this year?
I don't recall.
I don't remember the last time she was on. It's been a while, huh?
Yeah, it's been a while. And to Wendy, who did a wonderful job in the top 10 list. She had a terrible. Brian and Scott literally looked like they were sucking lemons, but I thought it was funny. So don't go by those two. They actually live to not laugh at my stuff. So thank you.
I want to say that I'm not necessarily a big Marvel guy, but I don't know enough about it to have gotten the humor. That's the problem.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I didn't know enough about it to get the humor either, and I wrote the crap. Everybody, we hope to be back next week with a big Christmas extravaganza. If you watch this show, I think, will this be our third or our fourth Christmas extravaganza?
It's got to be at least the fourth, I'm assuming.
Yeah. When I say Christmas extravaganza, you never know who's going to show up on this train wreck of a show. Last year we had the legendary John O'Hurley take place in a reading of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. And I think Brian and Scott and myself were the other, and Dave Howard Thornton, the Terrifier. Think about that for a minute. The Terrifier, Peterman, Dante, the Chulies Gum Guy, and some schmuck sitting on a hill in Pennsylvania reading you the a Christmas night before Christmas. It's just too unbelievable to really comprehend. Merry Christmas to Michael. He's a loving family member of mine. Thank you for watching. We miss you. You just moved to Florida. Haven for Heroes, our dear friends in Port Jervis. If you're out doing your Christmas shopping and people love toys and comic books and magic cards and all that jazz, check out Haven for Heroes right there on Main Street in Port Jervis. They're a great store. Gabe, happy holidays. It may be a train wreck, but it's our train wreck. Thank you. I'm glad you feel that way. Is there anything you guys want to say before we sign off tonight?
Well, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, please go to David Lee Madison's The End of the Night. Follow him on Facebook. And what else are you on?
Just Facebook.
Just Facebook. And follow the Indie Escape Network on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and what the hell's that other one? Instagram. Scott, where are you at?
Say that?
Where are you at on the socials?
Scott Schiaffo. Well, no, I'm not on TikTok. I'm on everything other than TikTok as Scott Schiaffo.
Nice.
Oh my God, I'm losing my voice.
All right, we got to get Scott out of here.
Yes, and if by any chance we're not on next week, because who knows with this crew, we're convening in New York City and the show's the next day. We might actually need you guys to bail us out of prison. But if by any chance we're not on for some reason next week, we'll be back soon. And if we're not on, we, from the bottom of our hearts, wish you guys all a very, very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, a Happy Hanukkah. We love you all. Thank you for joining us every week with our show. We're all family here at the Indie Escape Network and at the David Lee Madison's End of the Night Show. All we want to do is live and learn together, promote each other, get each other's backs, and be kind to one another. So with that being said, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever the hell you celebrate. We just want you to be happy, and we'll see you guys soon. Remember, no man is a failure who has friends. Good night, everybody.